So that took a lot more time than I thought. And I wanted to get it right for people who had lived through the 60s. Also, I wanted to try to really capture that feel, especially for the guys who went to Vietnam. I really wanted to get those details right so it wouldn't take them out of the story. And I wanted to do that as a way to honor those guys. So so that just took a lot more time than I thought. And then you're also dealing with, 50-plus-year-old memories on things and like, oh wait, where this was and that was and what exactly you carried and how and all of that sort of thing. So you're working through that as well. So, but it was a pure joy. It just took a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, it reads like thriller plus historical fiction, right? Kind of you kind of we talked about it with Targeted Beirut, right? You blended historical nonfiction with those thriller aspects, and here you're blending thriller with historical fiction. How did your writing adjust specifically based on everything you were just saying?
Yeah, it was more of, hey, how do you keep the story moving and not all of a sudden just throw a paragraph in that reads like a history book? Like, how do you tie these different events to something that's personal to one of the characters, so it's still through a certain character's POV, through their perspective, their point of view. So that's the yeah. So that was different this time around because in a contemporary thriller, I don't have to really worry so much about not taking things that I know because I've already lived something, or we have all these years of study to go to kind of rely upon. Instead, no, you have to go back and put yourself in those shoes. So yeah, that part took a tiny bit of adjustment, but it was just more realizing that okay, that's what I have to do, and then just doing it rather than just saying, hey, they're listening to Creedence Clearwater Revival and they're in Vietnam, and then write the rest of it just like a contemporary thriller. Like that was going to be a no go. And I
Right.
think that's the easy route, of course, but I've never taken the easy route on anything, so I wasn't about to do it here. But yeah, I'll be recovering from this one for a while. This took a lot of late nights, a lot, not just late nights, but all nighters, and of course I'm working constantly, and feel bad. My family has to deal with that, and when I think something's going to be done, and then it takes 3 or 4 more months, and so that part's tough. But in the end, it's all about honoring that reader by honoring the story and not really worrying about anything else. Just doing the best job I can do in that story because people are going to trust me with that time they're never going to get back. So I'm not just going to say, hey, this group of SEALs is listening to Creedence Clearwater and then make everything else kind of normal. That wasn't gonna do it for me.